See how well this works. I figured out how to do picture in picture, so you won't have to actually look at me directly the whole time. You'll have to watch my terrible gameplay instead. But I think it's improvement. And I decided to come out in the middle of summer to the garage without air to talk about this. To talk about Wolverine of all things. Well, I guess I might as well just do it before I melt. I'm blue collar NPC. Who I am really doesn't matter. You call me Roy. Um, Wolverine's situation is really crazy to me. I mean, I think we're missing what the big problem is or what the outcome is actually going to be. And I feel bad for a lot of people that just want to enjoy the things they like. I'll clip this. Yeah, this is all one take still. Don't worry about it. There's not going to be cuts in here or any editing out. I'm not that guy yet. Or I don't know. We'll see what happens. With the Wolverine games coming out, and that's perfect because first Sony tells us that they're gonna stop producing discs, and then one of their companies releases their biggest flagship game so far of the year, I think of the year. And of course, it's getting a lot of flack, it's getting a lot of criticism. I think probably a lot more than it probably deserves. Um, Looking at it as someone who's not a super fan, I love Wolverine. I think Wolverine's the coolest character ever, but I also don't collect comics. It hasn't been my everything in any form. So I see it and it looks interesting, but it looks like the type of game that I wouldn't care for in the first place. So I don't see anything all that strange other than it looks like a repeat of all the Spider-Man games they put out recently. And that is one of the criticisms, that it looks like all the Spider-Man games that came out, and because it basically is, they've cookie cuttered the whole thing and, insert superhero C and keep going, change up the dialogue and change up the suit, but otherwise, same mechanics. Take the strings out because it's not webs now. Now he just floats magically. I don't know what they're doing. And I'm not going to find out. I'm not going to buy the game. If it plays on a PlayStation, I'm probably never going to play it. From this point forward, I'm probably not going to. It's just, and that's not a protest. It's just I have no interest in the game, and I have no interest in paying for their system. So I'm not going to end up playing it. But looking at it from the outside, I feel bad that it doesn't add up for fans. There's things that don't make sense. Like someone pointed out, why are there health kits for Wolverine? Wolverine would never need a health kit. But then again, also it's gameplay. Maybe you're being a little too harsh. They're talking about things being repetitive, older games, but that's kind of the style of game they were going for in the first place. Now, then again, there's the storytelling that I, it's still the same. Everybody wants to tell their own story, but they want to use someone else's toys to do it. The story isn't a Wolverine story. The story is the director wanted this story. We also have it going on in all the DC stuff. And the reason why Supergirl failed is the same reason, because they want to tell their story, not the story that they're actually given, the story that the fans want to actually see. And apparently, that is another subject. Maybe I'll get into it on this. Maybe I'll make a second video just on that part. But let's just stick with Wolverine for right now. You subvert expectations. I just said that totally wrong, but guess what? It doesn't matter. We all know what goes on. It's the third act switcheroo. Oh, guess what? It was always that chick in the corner, or whatever. Instead of just straight up telling a story from beginning to end that people can. So what if it's predictable and doesn't come with a surprise at the end? At least it's a full story. But we don't know, and we won't know, not with what's going on right now. I don't know what to do with this mic. Is it too far away? Is it too close? What am I doing wrong? Am I doing anything right? I don't know. So Wolverine is getting extra heat because the no disc thing from Sony, and that they don't deserve that. Sony's decision to get rid of discs is not their fault. They had nothing to do with that. They're a subsidiary, and if Sony does something, there's nothing they can do about it. So I don't blame them for it, but a lot of people are holding them responsible for it. And other people just don't care. They just see a Wolverine game and they have a PlayStation, so they want to get the Wolverine game. And the thing is that they're going to, because it looks like a good game. I don't have the diehard love to judge it and say this is not a Wolverine story, or this doesn't look like Wolverine, or doesn't. It looks like a good game. It looks beautiful. The play, the screen play. I'm not going to say actual gameplay because we haven't seen it. I haven't seen anybody actually play the game. I've seen claims, but I haven't seen it actually happen. It looks incredible. Is it a good story? I have no idea. It's not even out yet. Am I going to find out? Yeah, someone online is going to talk about it and talk about it being good or bad. Is that going to change me getting it? Absolutely not. But it's going to sell well, guys. It is going to sell well. Whether it's good or not, it's going to sell well. And here's the problem with that. Sony is going to take those sales numbers and then they're going to put it online in reports and earnings calls. Suddenly there's going to be a whole lot of business talk after the sale of that game, and it's going to be wrapping around digital sales and Sony's decision and supporting that they were right. They're going to use the sales of this game to say that they were right for getting rid of discs. It's just going to happen. The people who are going to buy the game are going to buy the game. Hell, the people who are going to buy the game are going to hate the game are going to buy the game too, just so they can play it and say it sucks, so they could get a review out of it, most likely. I wonder how many games are actually sold just to people, just for people to review. How many sales are counted on review copies? Or even how that works. I don't trust what they say. It's always going to lean in the company's favor. If it's negative, it's going to be negative towards something else, not the company. If it's positive, it's going to lean towards the company, not anything else. The sale of this game is going to be used to prop up and support two things: exclusivity and digital only sales. They're going to use exclusivity because they're going to say, look how great it's sold on our systems. Well, yeah, it is only on your systems. Where else are we going to buy it? Of course, the sales are going to be good for it. You have the highest base of consoles out in the wild, so the probability of it being a high selling game is just built in. It could sell higher if it was released on PC at the same time, but that would destroy your narrative, wouldn't it? So they're going to release it on the PlayStation. They're going to talk about how many sales are going to be on the PlayStation. Yeah, that's basic math. If you're the only garden, of course the ball's going to land on your court. Okay, rough analogy, but you kind of get where I'm going with that. Someone else talked about, if you want brand A or brand B, well, yeah, you go to brand B, and brand B is there because it's always there in brand B store. Now, it sounds like you're trying to support the generic product. What if I don't want the generic product? What if I want the product that the generic product doesn't make? Or what if I don't want to shop at generic product store? What if I don't want a subscription for my games? What if I just want to own a game on a system I own? Your thing doesn't work when I want to shop at a different store, and I shop at a different store than you. So your product that you want me to buy is never coming on the shelves that I shop at, you see, because I shop at store A and store C. I never go to store B. Now I don't go to store C either, so I only shop at store A. But you want to make sure your product is not there. And store C wants to make sure their product isn't there either. Their personal products, the stuff they make themselves. They want to make sure that it's not in this other store where I shop. Well, I'm not shopping at one store where I shop. Where I shop is more like a mall. There's multiple stores I can go to and shop at and get the same thing at different prices, different qualities, various ways that I can actually shop. Or I can lock myself down to U, B brand, or the C brand. And let's face it, brand B is already on the chopping block. It's not. People still talk about Xbox pulling us around. They're not pulling around. They're clearing off the shelves. They already broke the system for themselves. Everything they're doing right now is a dog and pony show and a way to clean up their act so they can maybe sell off some stuff or make a little bit more money before the lights are turned off and they're not allowed to do any more. The timeline on how long it takes to shut that down, I don't know. It's a billion-dollar company, a multi-billion-dollar division of a trillion-dollar company, almost trillion. I don't know. I don't know the value of Microsoft. And you know what? I don't care the value of Microsoft. I am not an investor. I am not getting returns. So I don't care what the value of Xbox is or the how many billions they've spent in development. I don't care. You're not making stuff I like. And if you're not going to make money because I don't buy your stuff, that's not my problem. And this game, the Wolverine, is going to be used to reinforce that thought that you have to be on their system to play anything. When the reality is you don't have to have their system at all to play the best games. And you don't have to have a $2,000 system to do it. You don't have to have a $1,000 system as it sits right now. You can play a ton of games without their systems as they sit right now. But that's not a problem for me. I've already solved that problem for me. I've already decided that they have to do a lot to get my money back. And they are doing the exact opposite of that with Wolverine. I feel bad for the fans. I'll go right back to that because the sales figures and all of that manipulation, they're going to do that no matter what. But what they don't understand is that if this game is as bad as the fans say it looks like it's going to be, it's not a question of if you're going to get sales off of this game. You're going to get good sales off of this game. But once you make another game, are the customers going to come back after you sold them a flop? And you can make money on a flop. People go out and they spend a lot of money to go see a movie they got hyped up for, and then they leave and go, wow, that sucked. But it still made a lot of money, but most of the people don't care about it. They just were disappointed that they got to see that thing that they paid for. And yeah, it was expensive, and yeah, it was long, and yeah, it had scenes. And no one's ever watched it again. They watched it the one time. Maybe they even bought it on DVD, but did they ever watch the DVD? No, they just bought it because they remember it was a blockbuster and they might want to see it again. And the CD sits there and you get, well, the DVD sits there and it gets upgraded to a Blu-ray and then it gets upgraded to a 4K, and then they watch it online and then they go, why did I care about this at all? It's terrible. That's a long way to come back to this game. And I think GTA 6 might have the same problem. Buying it's not the problem. You guys had hype going in for various reasons. GTA 6, that's a whole nother story. But Wolverine and Insomniac, you guys had hype going in because you had potential. Because you had potential before. From what I hear, you screwed that up too. I don't know because I didn't buy it and now I'm not going to. So that's my decision. If you have a PS5 and these games are on sale and you want to get them, go ahead and get them and play them and see if they're good or not. That's totally up to you. But for what I'm seeing, I'm not convinced. I think the fans are going to be upset. The non-fans aren't going to get involved because all they hear is negative stories. The people who bought it are going to be upset because they overpaid for something that they thought was going to be good, but it's actually not. All because you wanted to subvert expectations, most likely, when you could have just picked up any series of X-Men comics or Wolverine comics, picked any storyline and just told it straight through from cover to cover of just one story anywhere. And you could have came up with probably a better game than you have right now. And the fans would love you for it. But in movies, in games, in TV shows, I know I'm talking about games right now, but this is across the board thing. And it doesn't even have to be superheroes. It could be old stories too. Any story. If it's got a niche audience, you need to introduce it to a wider audience by making something that people want to come see, so everybody else can see how cool the thing is that you saw in the first place, that you wanted everybody else to see and experience. But that's not what's happening. What's happening is people that know nothing about the character are running in with an idea, something they want to tell, and they're grabbing whatever characters they're allowed to grab and telling their story with those characters. Like there's a stage beside me. It's an open garage beside me. There's nothing but truck and wall. That's it. And a walkway. Anyway, so you get it, right? They just have to if you want to tell, it used to be harder to get work in Hollywood because you had to be able to tell a story that was interesting. Now you just have to convince somebody that you can tell the story with the toys they have. Toys that already have stories of their own and fans of their own already. If you eliminate the fan, you eliminate the IP, you eliminate your profit, you eliminate your company. Don't worry about us gamers. We'll be fine. We'll always find games, but you won't find customers. And if you keep it up, you won't find your final quarter of the year showing profit. You'll be showing your own walking papers. It's not a threat, it's what you're doing. You're trying to get what you can get when you can get it, when you should be trying to maintain something that was actually working well for a bit. But we can't have nice things, can we? Thanks for your time. It really isn't as hot as I thought it would be out here. It says 108, but I'm not even sweating. Yeah, I know this is still on. Maybe I'll come back out and do another. Oh, okay. I'm not sweating, but the phone.